This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the last session, we covered completely on Saturday, right? We covered on the geo maps. Okay, we had a long session on the day. I covered completely on the geo maps, and also um, we covered majorly on the calculation dimensions, right? Calculated dimensions, like we apply different formulas on the data. Right, these are some formulas we applied and created different calculations, right? Okay, so in today's session, I'll just quickly cover some model preferences and account dimension settings, and then we'll jump on to the reporting on top of this travel model. Okay, we'll be doing a complete reporting set on top of this data model. Okay, so if I go on to the account dimension, so I clearly created it as a classic account-based model, right? In account-based model, you see all measures present as data members in the account dimensions. You see all these measures as data members in your account dimensions. So you want to create any new calculations also, guys, you can create some new calculations. Okay, so this is like hierarchies for accounting hierarchy I'll cover when I go to financial planning, formulas, account types. Okay, I'll cover these account types, hierarchies, aggregations. So aggregations I'm going to cover now. Okay, a few things I'll cover it in the financial planning because this accounting and accounting hierarchy will come only in finance. In this case, let me create something like a new measure like carbon mile. Okay, so this is like, sorry, carbon per mile is what I write, and here I'll write the formula as carbon footprint by mileage. Okay, so generally, see guys, this formula I can write at the data preparation tab as well. I can write the same formula at the data preparation also. So I tell you guys, especially when you're going for some kind of a multiplications or addition division kind of formulas, okay, so we always write at the end. Okay, if I just write this at the data preparation, so for every record it will come, it will get you the carbon footprint by mileage, and it will do a summation at the end, which gives you an unexpected result. Means it will run the formula first and do the aggregation at the end. If you write the same formula at the data preparation tab, first the data formula gets executed and then the aggregation happens. If you run at the story level or at this data model layer in the account dimension, first the aggregation happens and then the formula gets executed. Okay, so especially when you're running some kind of a multiplication or division kind of formulas, guys, it's always ideal to write at the end once the aggregation is done. Okay, that's one point you need to know. Okay, so I just create one more measure, that is carbon per mile, which is carbon footprint by mileage. So then maintain some aggregation types, guys. So here I just go, I'll go with summation here. Okay, so last or low fare amount. So I can go, see sometimes we go for summation, sometimes we also can do an exception aggregation, guys. Here you see last or low fare amount. What I do is I'll go with an exception aggregation as average. Okay, I'm going for an exception aggregation of average. So at what level you would like to average the data? You need to give the dimension set also. You can give all the dimensions, so it will average on the whole data set. So in this case, what I do, I'll go it on purchase group. So it will get you the average Okay, lost amount by purchase group. Okay, you also can do some kind of an exception aggregations here. So I just, for lost or low amount, I went with an exception aggregation. Mileage, I would like to do summation. Ticket amount also summation. Guys, if you maintain any formula, don't maintain the aggregation type. It will throw out an error. If you maintain any aggregation type, it will throw out an error. Because it will first aggregate your carbon footprint. It will first get aggregation type of carbon footprint and mileage, and then the formula gets executed at the end. First aggregation happens and then the formula gets executed. So it's not ideal. It's not, you should not give any aggregations on the formulas. I given some exception aggregation also. Scaling, guys, I really don't have my overall numbers. Once I have the overall numbers, I'll apply some scaling factor. Once I start reporting, right, I'll get to see the overall numbers. Based on the overall numbers, I'll apply some scaling factor. So as of now, I'm not giving any scaling factor here. Number of decimals 2, units and currency. So guys, here lost amount is based on currency. So I'll say it as currency. So this will be shown in dollars now. Ticket amount is also currency. Remaining all are not related to currencies. Okay. So given some units and currency here. This is all fine. You want to hide anything in the reporting, you can hide. So I don't want to see carbon print for suppose. I'll just take it as hidden. So this will not be available for the reporting now. Let's say save. Okay. I maintain my account dimension, all the measure properties now. Okay. Then I'll go on to the model preferences or model settings. Okay. Here you see model preferences. So there are a lot of options in the model preferences. I'll cover only few now. There are a lot of models upcoming, right? I'll create different types of models going forward. So where I'll use some settings here and there. Okay. So one thing I can say is I can say I covered almost all the options in reporting, but data modeling is one topic, guys, which will be covered over the course. I'll be covering different types of data models in different situations. In different use cases, I'll go with different models. So data modeling is one concept, which is like you'll be learning throughout the course. Okay, there are few different models gets created in different situations. So right now what I'm creating is like start with data, and it's a classic account model, analytic model. So here you see model information, it's an analytic model. Layout is account based. This is the technical name. You can also give some description if you want. Access and privacy, as of now I'm not setting anything on access and privacy. Then date settings, you see a tab called date settings, guys. If you have your dates in finance, you know, right, finance we follow fiscal years, right? In remaining all data we see calendar dates only, like sales, inventory, everything you see calendar years, calendar dates. But in finance you see financial years, right? As of now I'm not dealing with finance, so I can say this travel date and last date to claim, these are your date dimensions. So I'm taking them as calendar dates only. If you select this, it will become a financial year. Okay, it will start going for the fiscal dates. In the finance, guys, I'm coming with finance models. That's the reason I'm not dealing these things right now. So anyway I'll be coming with financial planning models, right? So there I'll cover all these things. So in the planning also, this is not a planning model, so nothing to do here. In the currency, guys, so you see the default currency of this model is USD. You can change your default currency anytime. Okay, so but this data is in USD only, so I'm going with USD. Okay, currency conversion also I'll apply in the future models. Okay, guys, currency conversions, this date settings I'll completely cover in the future. Structure priority account based. Only option I'll select here is in the data and performance tab. You see the data and performance tab right here. I'll pick an option called optimize story building performance. It's not a reporting performance. Optimize story building performance. Okay, so means when a developer is building any story, he create any widget. So what happens is you add any measure, guys, it will do a refresh. Okay, means you need to wait for that measure to get refreshed, and then you add another measure, again the refresh happens. Okay, in my case, data volumes are on lower side, so it's okay. But in real world, the data volumes are very high, right? So you need to add one measure, wait for 2 minutes, add another measure like that. So if you want your building to be quick, what you can do is enable this option like optimize story building performance. So there is no refresh. While building the widget, there is no refresh. You can add all the measures, dimensions, chart types, and everything and refresh at the end. Simply click on refresh at the end, so everything will get refreshed at the end. Okay, so I'll show that. Say okay. I set my own model preferences now. Let's say save your model. Right, your employee travel expense model is ready now. Okay, so what I do is let's start some reporting on top of this data. Okay, let's go with some kind of a reporting on top of this. Okay, so guys, in today and tomorrow session, I'll completely build a beautiful dashboard on top of this data where I do different types of analytics. Like I'll do expense analysis, I'll do home office analysis, I'll do travel analysis, I'll do different types of analysis and identify some insights on top of this data, travel data. Okay, right, clear guys, make sense? Any questions here? Anyone, any questions? Okay, so if no questions asked, then guys, just give me a moment, please. We'll start with reporting. Okay, now let's go ahead with the reporting column. I'll now build a story on top of this model. Just a moment, please. Guys, just give me a moment. There was some configuration issue. Just a moment. I'm stopping the record.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So guys, I'll start with what I do. I'll start with a responsive page. Okay. On this story, and I'm going with the classic design experience because I need few options which are not there in optimized. Okay. So I clearly mentioned it in the first half of the sessions I'll be focused more on classic, and this later half I'll be more focusing on the optimized. So create. Okay, so here I'll use same story, guys. So this time I'll be quickly working on the options, but you all know the reporting options, right? I'll quickly start covering them. Okay, so let's first add all the KPIs here. Okay, let me just go with all the KPIs first. Let me add all the KPIs. Go for numeric point indicator. I'll go with mileage. I would like to see the overall miles traveled. So you see guys, as I enabled, right, optimize story building performance. So you see, right. So what I do is, guys, so let me first go set my story preferences. For canvas page, let me give some background, gradient background. I go in vertical direction. Canvas, I'll go some color. Apply these settings to all the pages. The charts and geomaps. So standard palette I changed to this. Add all borders. 2 pixel width. In the tables, not adding any tables here, that's okay. Even if I add, I go all borders with 2 pixel width. Text box. So I can change the font here, like I just made as Times New Roman. So in the text box, you see the font as Times New Roman. Headers, I'm not adding shapes. I don't need input controls. For expanded input control, also I'll add all borders. If it is any other widget, I'll go. Okay. So I just added all the borders here. Say okay. Apply. So applied some story preferences here. So you can see mileage here is 10,886,902. So maybe guys, I can use these overall numbers to apply some scaling factor. Okay, what I do is, so here I go. Let me apply some scaling factor at the data model layer. So guys, if your overall value is 10 million, don't go at million level, guys. Don't really go at million as a scaling factor. If your overall value is like less than 100 million, go for thousands, because overall value is 10 million. If I add any home office, so some home office might have the travel or mileage less than 1 million, right? So they all will be shown in decimals, right? So in this case, generally, if your value is less than 100 million or something, okay, like you can also have one thumb rule, guys. Like if your overall values are in millions, use thousands as a scaling factor. If your overall value is in billion, use a million as a scaling factor. If your overall value is in thousands, use hundreds as a scaling factor, like that. Sorry, 0, 1000 and million only. So in this case, I go to this account dimension. So mileage is 10 million. So I just make here scaling factor is 1000. And one more thing is, if you apply one scaling factor on 1000 as a scaling factor on one measure, don't apply million as a scaling factor in another measure. So they will be they need to cross compare, right? So always go for single. We always need to go for single scaling factor across all the things. I think lost or low fair amount is on very low side, so I don't go for 1000 here. Carbon footprint, I go 1000. Carbon per mile is a formula, so carbon footprint also I go 1000. Okay, so let's just save this up. Supplied some scaling factor based on the overall number. Okay, so I go here. Let me delete this and add mileage again. Refresh. Let me insert a chat here. So there is some refresh issue, so that's okay. I go to the styling. Don't show scale. Okay. So here in the show or hide, don't show primary value label also. So there is no point to see mileage here once again, right? Because on the top I already written like mileage. So this is like mileage in thousands. Okay. Don't show the chat subtitle. So I write like this, mileage in K. K in the sense thousands. Okay, let me add few more KPIs here. So let me insert another chat. Okay, I added now mileage ticket amount. I also let's add something like travel count base. Let's say add. So I'll just go copy this widget. Hmm. In this case, I'll go. Let me build this measure, that is travel count, because I built it in another story, not in this. So I go aggregation. Guys, if you're not speaking, please keep yourself in mute. Okay, we got around 6516 travels. So in the travel count, I don't need any decimals here. So in this case, I just go decimals 0, because travel count is never decimal. Right, so we have three. So mileage, the ticket amount, and the travel count. What's wrong here? Okay, so now let me add few more KPIs here, guys. So we have mileage, we have ticket amount, we have travel count. Okay, in this case, let's say copy to. So I would like to see the average fare per mile also. So I'm just showing all the important KPIs. So that is how your analytic reporting should start, guys. So you should have all the KPIs on the top. Okay, I'll go calculated measure, that is like what's your average fare per mile. Okay, this is nothing but ticket amount by mileage. Refresh. So I'll go add some decimals here. Okay, your average fare per mile is 0.64. So here you see, so average count, ticket amount, mileage. Fare per mile, yes. Okay, then also let me add something like carbon analysis. Okay, I just go copy to this page one. Here I go. add something like carbon footprint as a primary measure and carbon per mile as a secondary measure. The show our height, show the primary value label also. The carbon footprint and your miles carbon per mile. Use all this KPIs, guys. Right, so here I go. Rename it as travel analysis. So let me save this story. Okay, so here guys, I would like to see on the first page how many travels happen on different regions, different countries. Okay, so if you just go here, I'll get my widgets. So these are the widgets I'm gonna build here. So this is my travel model. I just added all the KPIs. That's the first thumb rule of analytic reporting is you should have all your numbers on the top. Okay, on the first page, you should have all the numbers, all your important numbers. Okay, I have all my important numbers on the first page. So then in the same page, I would like to see the number of travels happened on each country. Okay, so I want that to be a widget. So if you want to see the number of travels and percentage contributions, guys, I told you, right, if you're going for a percentage contribution, we make use of a pie chart. Oh, sorry, it should be here. Let me remove this. Select this lane. First, remove the header of this lane. So let's say insert a new chat here. So if you want to see some kind of personal contribution, I go for a pie chart. So here I would like to see the travel count for different countries. I go travel count. I don't have country, right? In this case, I go home office ID only. And we have a level hierarchy, right? You might remember we built a level hierarchy on home office ID. Okay. So level 2 is global. You see global. Level 3 you see data at regions like Asia Pacific, Japan, Europe, Middle East, like, right? North America, Europe, Middle East. And level 4 you see data at country level, level 5 you see data at home office level. We have a level hierarchy built, right? So I'm using this, making use of this level hierarchy to build this, right? So here I just go travel count per country. Right, you see the number of travels happened. So we got like 2,909 travels, like 44% of your travels happen from United States, 17% from Australia, 16% from UK, 12% from Germany, like that. You see all the countries and their contribution. Okay, guys, now that is first thing. So I'm just seeing all how the different travels happen from different regions, and I also want to see how much uh, ticket fare and mileage has been spent on each and every home office, guys. On each and every home office, what was the mileage and ticket amount spent? Okay, so here you can go for a normal chart. For even better visualization, we can make use of GeoMap. Home office, we have a geo enriched dimension right on Geo Home Office, so I can make use of a GeoMap. Let's say insert. I'm inserting a GeoMap now. Okay, I'll go for a bubble layer map. You remember, guys, I created a bubble layer map. Same story here. Location dimension, I go it as geo underscore home office. Bubble color is based on mileage. I can create my own color palette here. Whatever I did, right, I'm just doing it once again. I create my own color palette with around 5 swatches. Very on lower side, use this. Slightly higher. Use this up. I will create this 4 ranges. Okay. 0 to 500,000, right? It isn't it? 1.5 million. Yellow, 2.5 million. Blue and greater than 2.5 million is green. Okay, then I give bubble size. Bubble size, I'll go with ticket amount. So more the ticket amount, more will be our bubble size. Increase the size only by 50%. So here I go. Mileage and ticket amount by home office. There you see mileage and ticket amount spent on home office. So here you see the travel count by country, the miles traveled and the ticket amount spent by home office. This is better. Okay, so in the same page, so that is my widget 2. So I'm just setting you how many travels happened on different countries, the fare and miles spent traveled from different office locations. So I would like to see, okay, so all your expense home office locations. Okay, so based on average fare per mile. And also see what are above the average and what are below the average. In this case, I'll create a new chart. I go column chart, bar chart only. So I'll add a measure. So how do you see which are expensive and economic based on average fare charge per mile, right? This is the parameter to check what is expensive and what is economic. Here I go, home office ID, refresh. So your average home of fare is 0.64 per mile. I go at level 5. So you'll see it at home office level. In this case, guys, you would like to see which are above the average, which are below the average. In this case, fare per mile, let me give you. This is better. Okay, so I'll add a reference line here just to see which are above the average and which are below the average. So I go for a fixed value, that is 0.64. It is like average fare. Anything above, make it red, expensive. Anything below, make it green, economic. Label, show in yellow. Average fare is not shown in yellow. Say okay. I'm seeing the expensive home office. So you see London, Mexico City and Frankfurt, they're way above the average. Even San Francisco is also above the average. Whereas Dubai, Beijing, Bangalore, Sydney, they are way below the average. Fare per mile is way below the average. Okay, so guys, you see the travels happen on different countries, the mileage and ticket amount spent on different home office locations. Okay, the overall miles traveled from a home office, the overall ticket amount spent, and also the expense of his location. Uh, right. So now, okay. So I go on to the widget 4. So I would like to see the number of travels happened from carrier. So let's see how many travels happened from different carriers. So now I would like to see the travel count share by carrier airlines. Which carrier airlines has got what share on your travels, overall number of travels. So it is asked to create a donut chat here. So here what I do, I'll insert a new chat. So any travel count share or something, I just go for pi or donut chats. Both are same. So I'll go travel count, and here in the color dimension I go carrier airlines. Carrier code, you have a parent child hierarchy and carrier code, right? By default it show carrier airlines only. Now you see, so 41% of your travels are happening from OneWorld, 29 from Star Airlines. So from different carrier airlines, what's the percentage of travel? So if you go at level 2, so you'll see at carrier level. I go back to level 1. Right, this is my travel count for. Okay, so I see the travel count per carrier code. And I also, so guys, I would like to see, so what are the different airlines used by different office locations? What are the top 5 airlines used in each and every home office? Okay, in this case, I also insert a new chat into this lane. I go for bar or column chat. Vertical orientation, I make it as a column chat. Okay, in the measures, I'll pick travel count. So I would like to see the top 5 airlines in different home office locations. So I would like to see the travel count by carrier so that I can see the travel count happen on different airlines. Travel count, I'll give something like hmm. So carrier, I'll go at level 2. You see the travel counts on different carriers. Okay. Here what I do is I'll apply a rank parameter to get only the top 5 airlines. Top 5 carriers based on travel count. So this is like overall top 5 airlines, guys, based on the travel count. But I would like to see the travel top 5 airlines for each and every home office. So in this case, what I do, I'll apply a trellis. Here I go. That's it. Add a trellis on home office ID. Home office ID, I go at level 5. So you'll get to see the top 5 airlines used in different countries. You see, guys, Qantas Airways was used in Sydney, Virgin Australia, etc. I'll do one thing. Instead of this, I'll go at country level. Home office ID, I'll go at country level. Top airlines used in different countries. See, United States, guys, United Airlines was heavily used, followed by American Delta. Whereas in Australia, Qantas Airways was majorly used. In United Kingdom, British Airways. So you see different countries use different airlines for their uh, travels. Okay, you see the top 5 airlines used in different countries. Okay, clear? Makes sense? So this I applied it through Trellis. So here, guys, you see the travel analysis, all the important KPIs on the first page. So how many travels happened on different countries, some mileage and ticket amount spent on different home office, so average fare per mile on home office, and also travels happen in different carrier airlines, and the top 5 airlines used in different by different countries or used in different home offices, whatever it is. So this one I just create like a beautiful first page. Okay, so guys, now you see here, so from a file of around 6,000 records, what we are deriving, this we are deriving huge insights right on top of. So that was file of around 7,000 records. So we're deriving a beautiful, okay, insights on the data. Right, this is what we call it as business intelligence, right? So what do we mean by BI? Business intelligence is nothing but, okay, getting the deriving insights on the data. Okay, and these insights will be used for decision making. Okay, so the business users will use these insights to make new decisions on the data. So as we are making the decisions based on the data, okay, so we call this as business intelligence. Okay, so there are like maybe I written somewhere this match. Here you see. So generally the data form in your raw system, a business system, is called raw data. Guys, in our case, our file is a raw data from which we got the data and created a model on top of that file. Okay, that model gives you an information, a complete information on that data space. Model gives a complete information. So what is the difference between data and information is any data that has got some meaning is what we call it as information. Okay, so once you build a data model, so you will give complete information on the data space. And then We use the data model as a source to build the report, so which gives a complete knowledge, which gives all the insights on your data, and it gives a complete knowledge to the business users. Okay, if the business users use this report to make some decisions on the data, we call it as intelligence. Okay, that's the reason these reporting tools or reporting products are called BI tools, business intelligence tools. Okay, making the decisions on the data is what we call it as business intelligence. Okay, this is like a data driven decision making, guys. We also call it as data driven decision making. Okay, so and the major and the major enabler for this data driven decision making is your dashboard, which gives a complete insights on the data. Okay, guys, at the data model level, we never, okay, we don't derive any insights at the data model level. We just get the data, clean the data, do all the data cleansing, do all the data transformations, and store the data in an organized way. That's it. So we actually play with the data, derive all the insights on the data at the reporting layer. Okay, and these insights will acts as a source to make some decisions on the data. Okay, this will help the business users to make some decisions on the data. Okay, as they are making the decisions on the data, we call it as intelligence. Okay, okay, we are using our historical information to come up with the future decisions, right, which we call it as intelligence. Okay, okay, as it is, so that's the reason most of your reporting tools are called business intelligence tools, BI tools. Okay, and this is what we also call it as data driven decision making, right? So we derived some beautiful insights like how the travel's happening on different countries, cities, on carriers. Okay, now let's go and do some kind of a fare analysis, guys. I'll create a new canvas page here. I'll do some kind of a fare analysis here. Just a moment, please. I go now, insert a new chart. Let's do all type of fare analysis, guys. Which are your expensive carriers? Which are economic carriers? Okay, fare analysis on carriers, whether it is ideal to travel on weekdays or weekends, ideal to travel, what routes are expensive, what routes are economic, what days are means like which months are expensive to travel, which months are economic. So I'm going to do all kind of fare analysis here, guys. Okay, so first I'll do a fare analysis on the carrier. Okay, let's do some kind of a fare analysis on the carriers. So I'm going on widget 6 here. So first, where I go with average per mile on carrier lines. So I'll go as a bar chart only. So here I already have this measure, right? What's so for all the fare analysis, right? I'll be using this key KPI called fare per mile. So that gives you, okay, whether you are on expensive side or economic side. And here I'll go on carrier airlines. So I'm seeing which carrier airlines is on expensive side, which is on economic side. Carrier airlines, right? So I'll go at level 1 only. So you see, but guys, the biggest influencer for fare is your cabin class. Cabin class is the biggest influencer of your travel fare. Okay, the same travel, guys, happen in economic class, like from A to B. If it cost you X, if the same travel happened in business class, it will be around 2x or 3x, right? So biggest influencer of your travel fares is your cabin class. So guys, there might be a chance, right? Here you might see Star Airlines is on 0.7, which is expensive. It might look expensive, but there might be a chance, right? There are a lot of business class travels happen on Star Airlines. I would like to see for each and every cabin class. In this case, I'll go insert an input control on this data, where I go for input control on cabin class. I'm sorry, not advanced purchase group, guys. I'm sorry. I'll do it on cabin class. I'll add all. Check. So here I go. I select only economic class. You see? Okay. So you see, Sky Team is quite expensive on economy class. Here you see the Sky Team is very expensive. Okay, no airlines is on cheaper side. One World and Star Airlines are around 0.45. If I go for the business class, okay, so Star Airlines is very expensive on the business class. So you can actually identify so which cabin class is okay, giving you proper results. So here in this case, I can see no airlines is quite cheap price on any class, whether it's business class or economy class. No airlines has the lowest. Okay, I go with economy here. But now I would like to see what are my top expensive carriers. Okay, in this case, I go insert a new chat. So what are my top expensive, like top 20 expensive or top 25 expensive carriers? Okay, in this case, I'll go with same fare per mile by carrier code. Go for carrier code at level 2. Here I go. Add a rank parameter. So top 20 carriers based on average fare per mile. So it will show all your expensive carriers, which should be avoided. So these are your expensive carriers on economy class. So here you see, these are your expensive carriers. You have a scroll option here to see what are expensive and what are economic. So these are like the top expensive carriers which should be avoided going forward. In the same time, you can also see the economic carriers also, guys. Here I go, same thing. I just go add, sorry, copy this, copy to fare analysis page. Here instead of top 20, I go for bottom 20. Bottom 20 means you'll get most economic carriers. Okay, I added all your expensive and economic carriers here. So that is like your widget 7 and widget 8. Okay, so what are your expensive carriers which should be avoided going forward? What are your economic carriers that has to be selected? And also guys, I would like to see which airlines has the low carbon emission. So guys, now you know companies are going green, they are going carbon neutrals, right? Most of the companies, they're preferring low carbon emissions, right? They want to be carbon neutral or carbon positive at some point of time, right? Even some companies are shifting into the buildings which where the carbon emissions are low. They're even changing their office space. Okay, so so they're more going more carbon. They're more what do we say, conscious on the carbon side. So I would like to see which carriers has high carbon emissions. Okay, which carrier airlines has got the high carbon emissions, and which are your green airlines which has a low carbon emission all the point of time. So maybe in this case I just copy, say I'm just using the copy widgets guys because I have the same thing always. So in this case I just go, instead of fire per mile I'll go for carbon per mile. I would like to see the carbon emission per mile on. Here you go, carbon per mile. Refresh. It's almost same. Okay, I would like to also see the green airlines guys. In this case, let's say copy this. I'm just copying all this quickly. So what airlines has the low carbon emissions? What are your green airlines? In this case, I'll go check at carrier level 2, and here I'll apply rank parameter which has low carbon emissions. Show me the top 20 airlines with low carbon emission. Not top, bottom 20. So these are like your green airlines which has the low carbon emissions, almost similar range. They all are in similar range. So here I go, let's say save this up. Right, so you see all your carriers, which carrier alliances are on expensive side, which has to be avoided going forward, which are expensive carriers, which are economic carriers, which carriers should be selected. So guys, based on this, the travel desk team, they knows what are the carriers which are having the low fares, so they try to book on the carriers on the lower fares. So this gives them an insight on the data, right? These insights will be used for the future, in the future booking side. This is what we call it as decision making on your data, right? So I have all these expense and economics based on this airline stuff. So I created till widget 10 guys. Maybe I stop here. In the next session, I'll see what is weekday versus weekend travels, route analysis, date based fare analysis, purchase group based, different factors, how they impacting your travel fees. Okay, I'll continue with the reporting in the next session. Also, we'll do a complete dashboard. I'll complete this entire dashboarding on in the next session. Okay, let's stop here. Thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you so much.